Hello, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours with WeWeb. My name is Doc Williams. It's great to see you all today. We're going to be joined by Joyce in just a moment. And as always, we're going to have your comments and all of those things. So I can't wait to see you. So we'll just wait just a few seconds. There we go. We're going to have Joyce come up. And we'll be starting in just a few moments. Hey Joyce, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Let me change. I think this mic is better. It's probably not
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah? Yeah, cool.
sounds great. Um, we're going to be starting in just a little bit. The chat you're going to be able to see. Attendees can chat. There we go, changing that over. And so this is going to be a special office hours. This is going to be myself and Joyce here. Flo is not here today. So we're setting the expectations right now. It's
Yeah.
low. But we're going to answer your questions. And, of course, if you have follow-up questions, of course, post them in the community and we'll do our best to answer them and all of those things. So it will be good. Now, remember, you can always talk amongst yourselves in the comment section in the chat. And then if you have questions, there's the Q&A section that's open as well. If you have questions, we'll make sure we go through that. And Joyce, we even have a question that we had from the last session that someone asked. So wherever you'd like to begin, we can do this, sir.
Um, yeah, so first I think the chat, I'm only able to chat with you or myself.
See
I don't
about
know if in the
this.
chat I think you need to click on that. So it's this big Zoom setup where because I'm a panelist, I don't have the admin access, but
Oh,
yeah. So I think the three dots will allow you to give access to everyone.
let me see about this. Everyone. Okay, so panelists can chat with everyone. Attendees can chat with everyone now. Here we go. All right, good times.
Yes.
There we go. Can you try now?
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
good times. All right, we got it. We made it. We made it. Good stuff.
Nice.
Okay. So now that everything's good, uh, shall we begin?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
go. Let me
Okay.
know. I'll let you drive me. I don't see the questions, so if you
This one was a screenshot from the last session we were doing onboarding.
okay.
So I said I would do it. And let me see if I can put it in the chat. But the question was, I am interested to know how to update a CSV via WeWeb to Xano without the dating being passed to the WeWeb CDN first. Could you please let me know how this can be done?
Okay, so let me share my screen. Don't think I'll be able to show you a full because the person is not in the chat, right? They weren't able to attend,
Correct.
so we can't have, yeah, okay. Um, okay, so let's take this one. And I'll just log in to my app. Not that it matters that much, but I'm a bit OCD like that. And I don't even remember the password, of course. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I should change that password. I agree. Okay, so I haven't been in this app for a while. I'll just create a page and call it CSV so we can start from scratch. And I will add a new section. Can you all see my screen okay, by the way, or do I need to zoom? I can zoom in a little bit
Maybe a little bit,
if
but
it,
it looks, yeah, that's fine. That looks great to
that's
me
fine.
anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I think there are different things in that question, and that's why it's nice when the person can hop in and show us their project, because update a CSV can mean a lot of different things. So in WeWeb, you have a plugin in the extensions that you can add for CSV. And this allows you to export data as a CSV file and download it on the user's computer. So if I add this, for example, let me add this plugin. And if I had a button here, I could have a workflow that says download data as CSV, and here my data could be anything. So I could say, I could have it, yeah, and this file name would be test. And I think I would only need to do this. There we go, succeeded. So you saw this. And if I open it, thanks, I have the data from my collection in a CSV file. So I think that's not the question, that's something different, but I'm taking the opportunity of showing you the CSV plugin to show you what it does. Now, update data as a CSV and send it to Xano. I'm guessing what the user really wants is to upload a file. So let's say, for example, that I'm gonna take a table here and put it here. So in my layout, and I have this flex box with header and collection list, and I'll just remove these 3 rows. So you see I only have 1 row. I will bind my data here. So I think I was using this. And it might be too much here. I only have 25 items, so that's fine. And here we go. And so now, I guess from the user question, I'm guessing maybe they would want to be able to update this. So you would have several options here. Instead of text, you could have inputs. So similar to the data grid, you would be able to update the data and then send it to the backend. Or you could have on click, you could display a modal and change the data. Here, just for I think that part of updating is fine. The part that the user is struggling with is the upload. So here, what you would do is, as a workflow, you could say, so you'd have several things. Your workflow would be, yeah, you would want to create, I see. So he wants to create the CSV. Oh, so the first thing he would need to do would be to create a CSV. I'm not sure how he would do that, but then if to upload the CSV to Xano directly without using us, you would need to use, sorry, it's this one, I think. It's the yeah, encode file is base 64. And so the file object, you would still need, yeah, so you'd still need an upload. Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to show this without the use case of the user, because so you would need a file upload like this. Let me add this file upload here. And then you could have on this, sorry, let me check if it's on, yeah, on this here, on change. So instead of, if you use this upload file action, this is when the file is uploaded directly to our CDN, and then you can send, so we can do a test here, file value. Let me just, I'll just stop sharing my screen for, well, no, I guess it's fine. I'll just move that here. And yeah, it's because I don't want to show all the files that I have in my recent notes. So let me just move
No worries.
those. There we go. There we go. So now if I'm in preview, I can upload this. And there you go. And now on my file here, if I'm using this action, that's where we're uploading to the WeWeb CDN. And the advantage of that is then you can send the URL super easily to like just store the URL to your backend, but that's not what the user wants. The user wants to be able to uh, to save the file. So here we would encode this here. So let me test this here. There we go. So now we have this item here, and we should be able in Xano. So it's no, so that's not. Let me find the Xano action. Oh no, it's not the Xano action. Sorry. Encode. Okay, the search is not working anymore. That's great. Actions, encode files, base. All right. So here in my Xano, and let me, again, I'll go to my personal Xano project. And I need to remember in which workspace this is. And of course, I don't remember. This one. Log in. And sorry, I'm logging in on my different screen.
No
In the
worries.
meantime, I can share this in the chat. The links to this doc. And okay, so here I am. Okay, this is not the right database. I mean, it's right workspace. So in my workspaces, I will go to, and let me check here which one I'm using. Data collection plugins. Xano, where can I level to? I think that might be the right one, but I'm not 100%. We have so many. Okay, let me just check if this is the right one. We'll give it a try anyway. So I need to create a file, encode file is space URL, and here it needs to be a data URL. And then in Xano, I need an endpoint to upload the ticket. So let's see, add endpoint, upload content. Oh, and I'm not gonna, okay, now I might be able to do it with an attachment. All right, attachment, description, CSV. I don't care about authentication in this case. So upload an attachment, the file resource will be content. Do I need to publish this change or will it work? Let's see. I will copy the, well, no, I don't need to copy the endpoint URL. In here, now, I'll go to Xano. And let's see if I'm in the right workspace. Level 2, uh-oh, it doesn't look like the right workspace. Oh no, it might be. All right, and let's see what happens if I do this. Let's go to the debugger, remove this, And here, okay, so the content needs to be, what does it needs to be? I will read my own data URL and I will bind to this, to the result from my previous action, and let's see if that works. Test. It looks like it did. So status 200 tells me that, it's pretty promising. And it tells me that it added this in this public vault. So let's see now, go back to Xano. I think it's in my library, public files. And let's see if I have it. Build brand nutrition. No, that doesn't seem to be it. I probably sent it to a different workspace. Let me try to find it in a different workspace, or no, yeah, it'll be easier to find it in a different workspace. Switch workspace. I don't know if that's like helpful in the chat, if that's helpful if you get the gist, or if it's just confusing to you. And I'm
I,
gonna try to find the
as you're saying this, we're on the right track too. Luke has a question regarding CSVs as well. So
yeah.
I think this is helpful. I think we're going in the right direction. It's helpful
All
to
right.
me.
It's
Um,
helpful to you. Well, that's a big win already.
I think this is good. And then too, also, and unfortunately, the person was not able to be in the chat, but Luke is saying definitely helpful. All right, this is a win. This
Hey,
is a win.
cool.
Um,
Let me just try to show you if yeah, go ahead. If you have another question, I'm just on my other screen. I'm trying to find the right where I sent the file because I can tell I was successful sending the file, except I
yeah,
can't remember. I don't know in which Xano workspace.
no
But
worries.
yeah, if you wanna,
Well,
we
Luke
can.
has the question, and Luke, please let me know if you'd like to come up to show. One of the questions that he mentioned, um, similar but opposite use case. Is there a way to have an upload CSV file to auto-populate a data grid? And Luke, if you would like to come up to ask more questions, please just let me know in the chat,
Hmm.
and I'll bring you up if you'd
I
like to
don't
add
think that's
more.
possible at the moment. Uh, well, no, yeah, I guess it could be. It could be. I mean, you would need to have the functionality. So the feature could be that you use this file upload element to allow users to upload their CSV. And then with the workflow that I started showing you, then it could be that the second part of that workflow. So what we did there is just send the file to Xano. But then the second step could be update the table in Xano with that file. And so then you would have it in one of your collections and you could use that to populate the data grid. Does that make sense? Hey, Luke.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, no, that makes
Here.
sense. I think with that use case though, so that would require you to have a table specifically for like table in Xano specific for that one data grid.
Yeah. So like what would you want to have in your data grid?
Yeah, so it's gonna be like the use case would be like a teacher is logging in and they want to like invite their students or say an inviter is trying to invite more users to this platform. So like I'm going to do a bunch of stuff in the back end, but basically it's just going to be a data grid where I can upload CSV and then it's going to be a button to send an email to each of those users. So you'd be
So, so,
uploading,
so the so the teacher would upload a CSV with like the name and emails of students,
yeah, exactly.
and it would fill out the CSV. Yeah, then I think in this case, um, what you could do is you could use the file upload. So you would have the file upload element and a workflow for the teacher to upload the CSV. And then you could do it different ways. You could, instead of sending the CSV to Exano, what I would do is you could loop through the data from the CSV. Like you could send each row of the CSV to Exano table.
I see.
I think that would be that would make sense. Or you could do a different, you could just loop through. It depends if you want to save the data in Xano or not. You could also loop through the rows in the CSV to send an email.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So then reflecting that on WeWeb to like the user, like after, kind of where you see other places, like after you upload CSV, like it automatically like populates a bunch of rows for them. Um, how would that work? Like how would the only way to do that is just binding it to a Xano table to then populate that data grid, like collection list.
Yeah, or you could save it in a variable if you don't need to save
Mm,
the data in Xano. You could also just have an empty variable and like an array variable in WeWeb and update that.
okay, gotcha. Okay, I think that makes sense. I think there's gonna be some
Yeah.
fun playing around. I'll have to do it, but this was helpful just to see from the other way how it worked. So thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Doc.
Thank
Cool.
you. And great questions, by the way, here and in the community. I do not know all the answers or any of them, but thank you for posting them. And we're going to get more for you. So this is great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
keep them coming. And just we were chatting a little bit earlier today with Doc. We're thinking of potentially doing like live stream sessions, just the two of us to kind of go through so Doc can like build the Takina gap that we display in level 2 of the academy, and I can kind of answer questions where he gets stuck. I think that can be a great way to notice where the academy is deficient and how we can improve it and all of that. We thought it might be a fun thing to show you guys.
Yeah.
So if we do that, we will do it like live on Twitch and YouTube, and feel free to join
Yeah. This is
or
great.
watch us at 2x speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
you prefer.
That would be great. This is great. Okay. So we have a few somewhere in the chat. Here we go. So this is, I believe, Karen. By the way, I think we saw you in the onboarding call. So this is great. This one is, so thank you so much for hanging around. So I'm working with the OpenAI chat completions extension, the official WeWeb one, and I'm instructing OpenAI to respond to me with JSON through the system prompt. Could you do a simple walkthrough for assessing the choices array that contains the return JSON, also converting the JSON as well, since sometimes the OpenAI formatting isn't great.
I would need to, like, can you hop on and maybe share
Yep.
your screen? I'm not sure I'll be able to help.
Let's see about this. We're inviting to the stage. No worries. 1 second.
And just to answer Luke, yes, it will be uploaded to YouTube.
Yes.
Assuming I don't say too many stupid things and I can answer a few questions, we will upload it. Otherwise, we will just shamefully delete the recording. But don't worry, it will be uploaded to YouTube.
YouTube Shorts instead.
Yeah.
Um, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Welcome.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for doing this. This is fantastic. This like makes me want to work with WeWeb more and more because I know I have a support for this and like you're actually answering all the questions. That's fantastic. So my
Thanks so
my
much.
thing is because the WeWeb has the OpenAI extension that just got out of beta, right? So I was using that to access OpenAI chat completions. Um, I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yep.
And then there's a JSON mode recently implemented in OpenAI as well, right?
Okay.
So I am instructing it to send me a certain kind of JSON. And because ChatGPT usually sends the response in the choices array, uh, it usually sends it in the form of a string of text instead of like a JSON. So how would you parse that like an access multi-level JSON inside the choices array? That's what I'm having trouble with.
Can you show us your screen? Can you share your screen to show us one of the answers? So maybe we can point you in the right direction. Just right off the top of my head, I think I would use a formula in WeWeb to format the data. I don't know, but maybe it would make more sense like to send the data to a backend and then format the data in the backend. I'm not 100% sure. But if you can share your screen to show us what the result looks like, maybe we can help you format it. Or if you don't have it
Okay.
at hand, what you can do you have it at hand? Do you want to share your screen now
Um,
or
yes, I want
because
to, but I'm
otherwise?
not, I haven't started with the WeWeb implementation yet because I was just tinkering
Oh,
with it.
okay. Okay.
So
All right. So in that case, I think the easiest, because for me to recreate exactly that right now would take too long. What would be great is if you, so first of all, our OpenAI plugin was developed last year and we did update it a little bit, but we don't have like the newest feature of OpenAI. So what you mentioned about the JSON, I don't know if it's supported in our plugin yet or not. So you might want to check that. What backend are you using?
no backend, just using the WeWeb,
Okay.
and then because it does a secure call, right? So I was watching the
Yeah,
video about the
absolutely.
secure
Yeah,
call
yeah,
as well. So I was like, that's a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Maybe just give me a few seconds. So let me see if I can figure out the JSON that is returned. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Do you mind if we move you back to attendee and take a few questions and then
Yes.
we'll
Yes.
invite you
Yes.
back in? Yeah,
Yes. That
cool.
would work. Thank
Talk
you.
to you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great questions. I love it. Keep it going.
And
Oh, yes.
just yeah, I'll answer as well Antoine's feedback about the editor because it's been you've been experiencing instabilities for the past few weeks. We have a big maintenance on Thursday. So Thursday, I think I mean in the middle of the night Eastern time. So I can't remember the exact, but you should have received an email and you should have a banner if you didn't dismiss it inside the editor, a banner with the exact time, and you can add a placeholder in your calendar so you don't forget. So the WeWeb editor will be under maintenance for between 3-4 hours on Thursday, in the middle of the night or early morning or afternoon, depending on where you're based. But and hopefully that will fix a lot of the performance issues you have been experiencing in the past few weeks. So to give you a bit more context, we did a big update on our infrastructure around October. And since then, it's just continuous improvement and iteration to improve the experience. So it's one of our priorities for 2024. So we know sometimes it's not helpful and it can be frustrating, but we're scaling super fast as more and more users discover and hopefully love WeWeb. So yeah, it's one of our top priorities. So hopefully, like, keep telling us if you experience any issues inside the editor, like keep telling us so we can keep improving. But know that it is definitely on our top of our list of priorities. Oh, you dismissed it? Okay. I think
I've
I can
got
find the
it.
event. I'll find the
Um,
because I can
it's
share the ad event with you as well. So you
mm-hmm.
can create the placeholder. Let me share this. Boom, boom.
Well, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, perfect. So if you follow this, oh no, it's not the right. Sorry, we'll delete this. And okay, it's not this one. Let me. There we go. So I will share this. Boom. And I think if you click on this here, this add event, you will be able to add it to your calendar and it will automatically adjust based on your time zone. So for me, for example, I'm based in Paris, France, so it's 8:30 to 11:30 in the morning. But for Doc, who's in New York, it's at a different time. It's what you mentioned. It's 2:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern. Ah, you're in Perpignan, so you're my time zone, so you will be your morning, Antoine.
Times. Love it. We love that you love WeWeb. Thank you so much for your questions. This is great. Um, excellent. I'm making sure in the chat. That is good. Making sure that we get all of the questions. And let me check one last place as well. Make sure we have everything. Let's see. Let me go into
So let
this
me continue looking for my what I'll do, because we have a little bit of time, so what I'll do is I'll go on a different project and I'll just show the full workflow for the file upload in Xano. I think that can be helpful
Mm-hmm.
because I can't find the I can't find the right workspace. Um, and Karan, maybe let us know if you have a question. On my side, I'll just share my screen and just kind of show you from scratch what I would do for file upload. So oh, you got the JSON. Okay, so let me stop sharing my screen and we'll invite you back.
Inviting you back right now. Welcome back.
Um, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, so let me share my screen. So what I'm creating is basically if you look at my custom instructions on my GPD, this basically creates a software requirement specification document. So say someone comes to my app and they say, hey, I have an idea for an app, but I don't know where to start and what things to build and what sort of functionalities my app should have. So it basically creates a SRS document and then it returns a JSON, right? So I've given it specific instructions to return JSON and give me certain parameters like the pages it should contain, right? And the tables you should have. Like generally, it's this like a high level overview and all the fields that each table should have and the data flow, like where the user should go after this, like you should sign up and then click this and do this, and what kind of user should it have, which like have like an instructor section and stuff like that. I'm building on it, so but this is some sort of JSON that will be returned.
Very cool.
Thank you. So this is how I have set it up using the plugin, right? So this is the system prompt, this is the user prompt. I've only got started with WeWeb like 2 days ago, so I might be messing up a lot of things.
No worries.
If I go back to my right, so I just used a search input. I know it's not the correct element, but I just wanted to use like a workflow on this. So I use
Okay.
the chat completion, and then how do I like after the JSON gets returned, right? So how do I test this? I think through here, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm just
And now
putting
if
it
you
into a variable.
okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so if you go to the logs, can you show me the logs on the left? Yeah. Okay, succeeded. And you see this is an object. Okay, it's an object and you're inserting it at the start of an array. All right. And you're so it looks like that worked fine. And
Yes, if I can show you the display. I haven't
yeah,
formatted anything, just wanted to see.
okay. Yeah,
So
sure.
this is the JSON that is returned, right? So how do I like
Mm-hmm.
iterate over this and go inside each field and then use like a proper format, like maybe cards, like I have a card component for like pages and then put all the different pages that I can put it there and then have the tables like that and put it in another component like that. So the user can have like the formatted information properly.
Okay.
How would
So
I
here,
do
for
that?
example, the JSON is in what? It's in a rich text. If you
Uh, I just put it in it. Yes, it's a rich text. I don't know how to
okay,
see that,
it's
but yes.
text. Okay, so if you go here, yeah, on text, what you could do, so it's an object, right? Maybe So yeah, if you can go to the formula tab. So you see
This
right
one?
now you're in the, no, sorry. So you see you have formula, current value, and then you have 3 tabs.
Yes. Oh, this
Yeah,
one.
so
Okay.
yeah. And if you unfold the object, no, yeah, here in the object, you can get key, oops. No, if you go, yeah,
Oh,
that will
sorry.
not work. So yeah. So if you go to get key value, if you select get key value, and
Yep.
then your first if you hover over it, you can see what needs to be in there. So if you hover here, the first parameter needs to be your object, so you can
Yes.
you can have what you had before, the
I
yeah,
think should
the
be here, right?
yeah, exactly. So you can put that here. And then if you type in, yeah, in between
In
quotes, if you try typing in a page, I'm not sure it will work, but just page, yeah. No, so it doesn't seem to be working. And can you
I
try
think there's a
typing in
problem with the
tables? Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, so it's not understood as a JSON. And can you try? I don't have the answer like right now off the top of my head, but could you could you send me, like, could you create a topic in the community
okay.
and also in a private message send me the link to your project? That way
Okay.
I will try a few things on my site and
Okay.
answer you in the community so everybody has the answer, because I think you probably need to, there's probably something you need to do to so that WeWeb understands it's a JSON. Oh yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, because you see it interprets the JSON as text.
Yes.
So maybe can you try something else? You can like to again in the fold. Sorry, if you go back where you were
In the
on the text, like on the binding. Yeah, can you try, so an object in, can you unfold the object formulas? I don't know if no, there's not a to object.
I think the problem is the JSON that is returned from OpenAI sometimes has a line break like that. So what I was having trouble with in another no-code tool, I don't know if I'm allowed to name names, but
Of
what
course
was
you are.
happening.
Of course.
Okay, that's good. So in Bubble, what the problem was because the JSON that was returned had new line breaks and other formatting issues like double quotes because keys needs to be in double quotes, right? So and this was fixed.
Yeah,
Then what I had to do
yeah.
was use regular expressions to sort of mangle my way around that. But I thought like WeWeb because it has binding and everything, and then the Academy videos, I thought like I would be able to go inside. I know I'm doing probably something very wrong, but I think
No,
I
I don't.
should be able to access.
Yeah, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. Like right where I'm stuck right now is that you see in this on the left in succeeded, we can
Yes.
see that JSON is considered a text, so we need to be able to remove. Actually, we could do that, I guess. Well, I don't know, but I think it would be easier because it would be easier if I could like dive into your editor and try a few things. So if you can create the topic in the community and then send me a private message with a link to your editor, I'll have a look for sure by the end of the week and try to find a solution for you. And if I don't find one, I don't know, maybe there's like a super easy thing we can do with a few nodes of JS and but yeah, if you create the topic in the community and send me, I promise not to make loads of API calls with your OpenAI
No, it's okay.
key,
It's
and
okay. This is
but that way I'll have your exact use case, and I'll if that's okay with you, I'll probably duplicate your page and call it
yes.
JK, so JK test, so you know it's a test on my side, and I don't mess
Okay.
up the rest,
Okay.
and I'll
I
try to
was
find a solution
wondering.
for you.
I was wondering if this is possible. I can just like use a bit of code because I think this will work because that's how usually it works in code. I can just pass the JSON and it can convert, in fact, stringified JSON also into like proper JSON. If that's possible, I think that might work as well. But yeah, I will create a topic over there. Thank you.
Cool. I'm just thinking, wait, can if you go back to your workflow, sorry, the workflow where you get the JSON. One thing that I found surprising, so in your the change variable value. Oh no, okay, it's for the search results. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out on my side to try to find a solution for you.
Just one quick follow-up question. So what is the correct way of like, what is the WeWeb way of like, when I get the response through here, right? Should I put it in a variable? Should I, like, what is the go-to way in WeWeb to do this? Because in Bubble, I know I can create states also. I can create variables as well. I can, do a bunch of things. So here, the only action after this I found was that kind of helped me was because I don't need collections, right? Because this is coming from an API and it's like dynamic. I don't need to store it. I don't know what the return value would do here.
So return
So
value, you could it'll return a value that will only exist inside the workflow. So you can reuse that value inside the workflow. So for example, if you want, you could return a value, then do a bunch of things to format it, and then change variable to save it. That's the difference between return a value and change a variable value. So return a value, the value only exists in that workflow. But if you change variable value, then it exists outside of the workflow. It exists in your project variables, or if you're working inside a component in your component variables. So those are the two the two different things. And I'm just seeing here Rian's suggestion, maybe using JS. Yeah, absolutely. It might be yeah, applying the parse. That's a good point. Yeah, we can try that. And change variable value. Can you try so in the binding, can you try switching to JavaScript at the top? So where it says formula at the top, you can switch to JavaScript. And here, if you can try to apply the Rian suggestion here. So it would be like, you could add at the end, you could add .json.parse, for example. I think that would work, or maybe you don't. I don't know. No,
I
that
think
would
we need
not.
to store it in a
Yeah.
variable and then convert that.
I'm not
So,
sure. Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah,
JSON.parse.
yeah. So JSON.parse, and then yeah, and add a yeah. There we go. Nicely done, Rian. Beautiful.
Ah, that's perfect. Because I didn't know where to put the code, so now I know, like I can just like,
Yeah,
use the
yeah.
proper. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
absolutely. But I'm thinking,
Perfect.
it's funny because it was my first intuition. I was thinking we should probably have a no-code action to parse through JSON. I'll share the recording of this office hour with the team and add it as a suggestion, because I'm thinking that would be a very easy. I'm saying this, I'm not developing. I think that would be very easy to add. I don't know why those lazy developers haven't done.
Just
I'm
change a
joking,
few
of
lines
course.
of code.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks a lot, Rian. Awesome,
Thank
awesome advice. Um, awesome advice. And I'm still annoyed that we can't do it in no code though, so I'll investigate.
Times,
All
good
right, cool.
times. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. And thank you for your question. And we
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you in the community or another office hour.
Yes, thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Good stuff. Okay. This is great. Okay. I think a lot of people are enjoying this. This is good. I have just a few follow-up questions. I don't know. I had some that asked me if I could bring this up in the office hours. Is this all right if I ask you, Joyce, for
Yeah,
the
go.
last couple? That's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is from the community. And these were a couple questions. Do you want me to screen share so you can see it, or you want me to put it in the chat? What's the best way for you?
I don't know. What do you think? Is it you can screen share that way?
Yeah.
It depends on the complexity of the question, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
I
you
think,
can share a link in the chat otherwise.
yeah, let me
So
share a link. Let me share a link. So this was a question, and so you'll see it. I'll just read it out loud, but that way you can see it.
okay.
So this is regarding rich text editor and options. Lars mentioned I'm currently working on an AI-powered content tool and think the basic rich text editor in WeWeb is quite limited and visually not really appealing. I found a different tool and was wondering implementing the text editor.
Yeah. So to do this, you would need to develop a custom component, like a Vue.js component that is, doable. So the idea is you can here I'm in my tutorials workspace and I clicked on coded components. Let me just zoom in a little bit. And here I can import stuff from my GitHub repositories. So here, for example, I imported a rich text element as an example that was developed by Alexis, one of our developers. So you could to implement this because this is like a specific Vue library. So you would need to develop the component and import it in your workspace, and then you would be able to enable it. That's one thing. So in order to do that, I would recommend like either you can kind of learn to do it yourself, but you would need to be a little bit proficient. So one of the reasons we chose Vue over React at WeWeb a few years ago is because we thought that Vue being a more accessible framework, it would be easier for no coders to learn it if they needed to, and so the idea was that, and that way you will never have any limits because you can fairly easily, again, it's a learning curve, so it depends on what stage you're at. It's not for everyone. It's not for me, for example, not yet. But yeah, so if you want to develop a Vue.js component and import it in your workspace and use it to use this particular tool, and you can do it. This is the developer documentation. So let me, because Vue is amazing. Yes, absolutely. No other reason needed. But what I would like to show you as well is that it's true that out of the box, the rich text element isn't very visually appealing, but you can make it pretty visually appealing with no code. So this is one example that I worked on myself. Is that this one? It is not this one. I think I called it essays. I have too many projects. Is it in my habit tracker? I don't think so, but let me check. Text editor maybe. It would make sense to have it as in text editor. Yes. So here, for example, is a rich text element. This is a rich text element built, except I made it pretty. So here you can see it's a custom menu. So what I did here, if I go, so this is the rich text element from WeWeb, and I enabled the custom menu here. And this allowed me to just, decide what I wanted. And here I added a little container with a little image icon. And on this image icon, I have a workflow that says on change, you can encode, encode a file basically, encode an image now. Encode an image, upload it to Xano storage, and then execute the component action is what you're looking for. Is here, the component is content. So let me I'll rename it here so you can see my rich text input. So here I am executing a component action. Oops, sorry, I have a call in 10 minutes. This is my alarm. So I want to execute a component action. The component is my rich text input. So these actions, these component actions also exist with the video component, for example, or with a sound component. And then the action that I want is set image because I'm on the image. But here, if I go on this link, then the action is set link. So you see, I can decide when I want to focus the rich text, when I want to make the text bold and all of that. And now if I go to preview mode, I think it'll be buggy because I messed up something with Xano. But if I do this and I select this, boom, boom, I could upload a file as well, well, an image, and I don't have any images here. I could change the link. So that's yeah, that's the idea. And we do have actually, I'll stop sharing my screen and I will try to find you a project. So we have several people who have used the rich text editor in WeWeb to build really nice looking ones. Because yeah, our default one is not very pretty for sure. Let me see if I can find you another example. Oh, I had a really nice one, but I can't. No, I don't find it. Yeah, so very often on Twitter. So we're trying to build up the showcase page in WeWeb. So whenever someone shares something nice on Twitter, and I make a note of it, so I can remember to ask them if we can show it on the page. But I didn't make a note of that one. But anyway, so to answer the question, yes, you can use the tool that you proposed in the community. That would require coding, but you can absolutely import Vue.js components. That's one solution, or another solution is just to like build your own rich text, like start with the WeWeb rich text component, but make it your own, or build your own with no code.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Joyce, for that explanation, and we'll make sure that we link it in the community with the follow-ups and everything like that. So, all right.
Nice.
We're doing last call. I think this is pretty great. I think everyone's done a great job. Right, everyone in the community helping out. It was just great. It was a great morning
Yeah.
or afternoon.
Big up to Rian. Like the superpowers of knowing a little bit of JS.
Yeah, it's on my list to do. It's
I
it's
think
on my
I can read it pretty well, but I still, I'm still nowhere near proficient in writing it. For
I
some
love it.
reason, like before I joined WeWeb, I learned a little bit of Python, and that I understood that like really quickly. I
Yeah.
love that. But before I learned Python, I tried learning JavaScript like many, many times, and I don't know, I think it's like, people who don't like math, like the first time they tried learning, it didn't go well, and then since then it's a little bit
Yeah.
scary.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Well, this is good. No, I think this is great. Joyce, should we call it a day for right now? Give back
Yeah,
everyone 7
unless you had
minutes.
a last community question. You started 10 years ago. At some point you learn, yeah, for sure.
Ah.
For sure. And
Um,
actually that's one of the things I love about no code is that you can learn at your own pace. Like for example, HTML, CSS, I started learning because I was doing my website in WordPress ages ago.
mhm.
And then, Python, I started learning because I wanted to automate things and it was more fun than make and save. So both, I love both these tools. And now I use them instead of coding because it's just quicker. But yeah, I think it's going at your own pace.
I love it.
That's yeah.
I do have one more. This one, so Luke brought this up. Luke was in the chat, but I don't think Luke's here anymore. But I'm going to put in the community the question that he has. So this has to do with, do we have sections? Can the animated sections when scrolling down? So
Sorry, what?
Luke says, how do you have sections be animated when scrolling down? Says, I'm trying to introduce a feature to my web app where only certain parts of a page are displayed based on scroll position. For example, it can reference link below. I'd like to have only the top section of the page shown, but then as you scroll down, the next section becomes more visible. Opacity increases to 100% when the section is completely in view. How do I do this?
Well, I think he's on the right track. So let me share my screen and yeah. So if I share my screen here, there we go. So the component position variable y%, I think it can be helpful to everyone. I'll share the docs on how to. Why is this scroll not working? Okay. So we have it on YouTube for sure. Videos, let me just here. Sorry, my internet connection is slowing down for some reason. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting there. I'm
No
finding the
worries.
link. Oh, Jesus, slow. All right. So this is. So sharing the chat, the link to a tutorial and have it here. Oops. So it's infinite scrolling in WeWeb. If you watch this, you'll be able to see. So I'm using it with an infinite scroll with paginated data. So it's a little bit of a complex example, but it will give you an idea of how to watch for the position of an element on the page. So this is this part of Luke's question. Then the change variables and so forth, because you want to use conditional rendering. So if I go, let me just try to show you quickly. I won't be able to give you a full example, but just maybe hopefully point you in the right direction. Here, let's say I have this element. I can say, watch its scroll position. And actually to be able to enable that, I first needed to give it an ID. So let me say it's my item 1, 2, 3. And so now I can watch its scroll position. And let me add a little bit of text here. So let me just make this, to make this more obvious, I will. Okay, that was a bad example. Let me remove this. I don't care about this. I am going to watch for this container and call it 123 watch, and I will make it, I will give it a background. Oops, blue. There you go. So this is blue. Let me just, I need to remove that. And it's here. Watch for position off. I don't care about this. And on this one, I will do the same. I will remove this. I won't watch. It's a little UX thing. And sorry, I'll explain in a second what I'm doing. So here I have a text, and I'm going to bind the text to say, okay, scroll put or element position. And I'm going to say that the element position is, where do I find this? Component positions here. Oh, okay, it should be here. Let me see if it's. Let me refresh the page. I think because I copy pasted and had several times the same ID, it got a little bit lost. So on the text, let me go here. Why is that empty? My container. Okay, maybe it can't be a number. Test. Refresh the page again. And here. Oh, there we go. So it can't be, the ID cannot be a number. What? Why is it empty? Um, uh, uh. Um, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's something that I'm not doing properly. Probably the latter. Let me try this. And unique off. Because the idea, so just we'll try one last time, and otherwise I'll explain what I'm trying to do. Unique in here. So here in the component positions, oh, there we go. So now it's working, I'm not sure why. So my scroll position, or the position of the element, is, let's say, so this X and Y is in pixels. So I prefer using the percentage. So I want to look at where it is in terms of height. So on the Y axis. And you see that if I scroll, let me add some spacings here. And I'm gonna add a big margin. There we go. So now you see it's minus 31.76%. That's because it's below zero, because this container, the container I'm watching, is here. Oh, no, I should have fixed this. So anyway, let me move this here. And now you see the position is 26.8%. So what you could do is you could say that here on conditional rendering, you could say you could have this saying, why is it not? Oh, okay. What? No, I'm not understanding. Huh. Okay, so you could do it relatively, basically you could do a conditional rendering, not on the position of the element you're watching, it seems, because if I do it here, then it can't find its position because by default it's hidden. So you could do it based on if the bottom of the element above is at a certain percentage of the page, then you want to display or hide this container. Does that make sense? We can try to do it
I
quickly.
think that makes
but
sense.
We are running out of time. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. No, I think
And
that
Luke,
does
if
make
you're watching
sense.
the replay and it doesn't make sense, don't hesitate to follow up in the community.
Yeah. Great stuff. Okay. We did it.
Cool.
This is
We did it.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone in the chat. This has been great. Remember, there's a link down below for the community. If you have any questions, make sure that you reach out in the community. And we'll be back next week for office hours. Flo will probably be back. Sorry,
Flo will be
but
back.
thank you for being here. But thank you
And
everyone for all your great questions.
yeah, that was awesome. Thanks a lot.
All right, see everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.